right, this week on the Breakup Breakdown, this is Abby's podcast. Man, if you like drama, if you like the Bert Show's drama, you got to listen to Breakup Breakdown. This is drama every week about the worst breakups you've ever heard.
Oh my God, yeah. And this week I had a story about somebody whose mom slept with their husband. It is... I say this every time I get a dramatic story. I'm like, oh my God, I never thought I would have this kind of story on the podcast. But I literally never thought I would have something as crazy as somebody's literal mother having an affair with her husband.
Is there anything worse? Like, is there anything like affair? So you're going to get cheated on, right? Your husband is going to cheat on you. Like, your sister's bad, your best friend's bad, like a fellow coworker bad. But your mother? Like, is there anything worse than your significant other cheating on you with your mother?
I don't think so.
That's the worst.
That's rock bottom.
I think, I don't
Grandmother.
Yeah, that's
Grandmother.
worse. I don't know why. Is it worse?
Yeah, grandmother? Come on, man.
It is worse.
Maybe your father, because then you're learning some things that maybe you didn't know before about both people.
Okay, so it could always be worse.
It could always be worse. So that'll be next season on the podcast. But as for now, that we're just at this level with somebody's mom having an affair with the husband. But anyway, as a backstory as to what happened, so it was this girl. I found her story on TikTok, and she came on my podcast to like give us the full details. But it was her high school sweetheart. She met this guy when she was like 15, and they dated for years and ended up getting married at like 19. Super, super young, because that's just how, they did it. They didn't go to college. They were ready to become full-on adults. And where a lot of the tension in their relationship began was they were having some fertility struggles, and then they eventually were able to have their babies, and they had twins because they had to go through IVF. And so their family lived really close by, so the grandma's coming over to help take care of the babies, and the mom is coming over to help take care of the babies. And all of a sudden, the mom is just hanging around for no reason. I mean, she is there like 24/7 to the point where she's like, I know I have these newborns and I need all the help that I can get, but you can go. Like, you can literally go home to your own life. And
when you say mom, you mean grandma to the twins?
Grandma to the twins, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, the mom is coming over and saying, hey, I know you got to go run these errands, so why don't you leave the house and go get the formula or the baby food or whatever you need. And so she's thinking really nothing of it. She's thinking, well, I really have to take care of my preemie twins, and I have to drive, hours to go get breast milk from some mom whose breast milk I had to buy on Craigslist. So she's driving 2 hours, coming back, and everything seems fine. And then all of a sudden, her grandma is the one that noticed things first. She went to the mom of the twins and said, hey, have you noticed that your husband and your mom, they kind of out, they're a little touchy-feely, right? Like, he's calling her precious, and it's just like this weird sort of intimacy when they enter the room together. And she's like, you know what? Actually, I have noticed it, but that would be crazy, right? Like, that could never happen. Like, there's no way that my mom and my husband are sleeping together,
So
right?
they weren't necessarily hiding it.
Well, they weren't hiding it well.
It's like they're hiding out in the open like a toddler does when you're playing hide and seek, and they just jump on the couch thinking, they'll never look here.
No, but then this is so messed up because it's the twins' great-grandma who's coming over to help. And she goes to her granddaughter to be like, I think my daughter, your mother, is sleeping with your husband. Like, that's who's the whistleblower in all of this.
Oof. And this is how you know the universe is looking out for you. Universe, God, whoever you think this is. But the day that they have that conversation, the day that the grandmother comes to the mother of the twins and says, hey, I think you and your husband and your mom are, get a little... That day she comes home and she calls her husband. She says that they FaceTime usually right before he goes to do some door dashing to make some money, some extra money to support their, new babies. And she noticed that he says that he's driving, but he's parked. He's like, oh yeah, he has the phone propped up on like a windshield GPS holder thing. So his hands are on the wheel and he's like, oh, I'm driving. But she noticed that he is parked in front of a movie theater that's like about 5 minutes down the road from them. And he's saying, oh, I'm in the next town over doing door dashing because it's more busy over there and I'm going to make more money. And she's like, what is going on? And so then she can hear somebody in the background of the car,
No way.
of the call. And she's like, who is that? And he goes, oh, no, it's nothing. And he ends up hanging up. And so, of course, now she's in her head. She's like, wait, I think I have proof. She calls her family that lives down the street and she calls her sister. She says, hey, is mom home? And the sister reveals that her husband had driven by their family's house to pick up the mom to go door dashing together. So then she calls the husband back. He won't answer. He finally answers, and she's like, show me who's in the passenger seat. So he flips the phone. Nobody's in the passenger seat. And she goes, I know my mom is with you. Get her back in the car. I want to have a confrontation. And if you want to hear what happened,
Good tease.
you can head to the Abby Murphy on Instagram. Check out the Breakup Breakdown. It's linked in my bio. It's the episode I released this week. So it's like one of the first two.
She's learning so well.
I know. I'm so proud.
Very well done. Very well done.
Legally, I have to tell you guys that the Breakup Breakdown is part of the Pioneer Network, which is one that I own. All right. Again, you can find it on any platform.
The Bert Show.